Yeah, I'm doing my sun staring as I, talk on this one. You know, it's like things changed for me ever since I started doing this now. I used to tell y'all about the astral world and all the journeys I've been on the astral, from the dragons to the different beings, and uniting and meeting God and everything. It's all was a preparation for the granddaddy of it all. And I remember what it was too. Not was it just a ring, when I told you about Sonic. It started with the Lords of the Ring. And from there, it just went in a whole new direction, Kundalini. It's like following the path of truth. It's about Kundalini. But we don't know it in the Western world as Kundalini. We know it as religion. But this is not mythology, though. It's not something that actually we supposed to take lightly in the sense of, oh, this never happened, or this is just biblical. No, no. That's what this is about. Let me tell you. It got biblical once I started Sunstone. It was like the world to us is defined for us. Let me give you an example. An example of what I mean is, we're taught to look at me and you see the tree. Nobody tell you to look at this though, the shape. Look at the shape more. You see it? The shape, outer side. This is what I see now. I don't see this and I don't see this. I only see this now all the time. I'm always looking in between. The leaves, I'm here. The shape is a face kissing. The air is kissing. The eyes, the nose, the mouth. It's a big face to me. It's perception. It's about perception. Our perception was taught to us, and we was taught to see it. Remember the dolphin? The dolphins, there was 9 or 13 dolphins. They formed like a couple kissing, and they tell you either see dolphins or do you see a couple kissing? That's what this is about. This is basically the video for that now. So you can look, it's a shadow being shown here. Don't look at me. Do the shadow. Look at the shadows. Look at the form that forms out here. You know why? You're not going to see anything right now. What I'm training you for is to have a different perception. To see the spiritual world, you have to realize that. I'm here to put you on. I'm not here to pull games or to talk you to death. Everything that I do will help unlock you in a way. It's the same way it unlocked me. But it was scary for me. For you don't have to be scared. You know what? When I say that everything got biblical once the sun got involved, think about it. Listen to that. You talking before the who would have been? The Romans? Yeah, it has to be the Romans. Before the Romans got a hold of the Bible, the Greeks had it as Helios Biblios, sun book. Helios means sun. Biblios means book. And so it was mythological fables about the sun, the encounters you will have as you look into it. Like the story about Damien and Icarus and all of them, and with the Egyptian, not the Egyptian, I mean the Indian god, what is it, Agni, I think, that goes up there and has burned his wings. Y'all know the stories, man. Ra for us. So many names for the sun. For today is Christ, Jesus. Y'all talking about the sun. But the sun is alive, man. Bear witness when I tell you that. Excuse me. I know the sun is alive, so let me shut up. When I trip right there, that's telling me certain things that's in reset. But anyways, it's about this biblical journey that I'm putting y'all up on. Alright, so how is that possible now? You see, they didn't make up that story. Everybody know that goddamn story because it's inside of you once you take that journey. It's in all ancient rituals. It's in every book of the dead. They got the Egyptian book of the dead, the Tibetan book of the dead, the Indian book of the dead. Everybody got the same pictures, man, the same hieroglyphs, the same. Think about it. How is that? If it's in all, it's in everybody. When I be telling you I could see what you're doing and I could understand you and feel you, come on. People can know that's for real. It's whoever know me and could comment that's not true in this video, please do. Please do. And I'm also then, I'm going to switch it around. If you know me and you know I could do this, put in this video, it's true what he's saying. You can do this. So that people could see that there is a difference between certain people. And there's a difference that you could attain to or seek for highness in this world than just being a preacher or even a judge or a president. You understand what I'm saying? So on that note now, you got to understand, all of us have this ability, and it's our desires that make us can't attain to it. Once we get rid of desires, which is the demons of the air, ego. Think about what ego is then. Still a demon of the air. Man. That's not what this is about. Alright. So now all of this is inside of you, which you playing the role of first, who's called Moses. You're Moses. You're to go into the higher self, the promised land. Moses is a demon. That's what the story is about. Egypt is the lower self, materialism. His journey is to get to the promised land, but he has to die and kill himself and change his name. Who he takes with him? His spirits, the Israelites, the 12 tribes, the zodiacs. Those is all the demiurges, the beings. Jacob with his 12, the ladder, going up the ladder, the spine. It's his body. It's all about your body. So it's repeated now again. Who you think Jesus and Joshua? It's the same thing. When he gets to the promised land, I mean, when Moses kills himself, he's Joshua again. He comes back as Joshua and makes it to the promised land. And it's the same story we repeat with Jesus. That's why the whole biblical story is not about no place. And there was no Judea. Now they making it real for y'all. They selling it to y'all because they know this part. You're gonna reincarnate if you don't get this information correct. And as long as you keep reincarnating, they can have kids and their kids will be good. See, somebody's family gotta be fucked up. You're only gonna have servants and people working for servants. I mean, people working for the kings or whatever. Or you're just gonna work. You ain't gonna have too many businesses. So what they do, they put in a whole system and then have you know nothing about your soul, know nothing about that. So all you do is when you die, you have what's called a half enlightenment. That means you only get to participate in like a part of reincarnation. You don't get to really participate in it in the dead world, and you don't participate in it in the physical world as reliving. So what you would do, you would only die, be unconscious, and come back again unconscious, like you're starting all over, you're resetting all over. That is not good. That's really dead. What you're supposed to do is become conscious while you're alive. Go and do your whole rituals to go your dark side and get your soul, and then face a life where you live in between both worlds. See, now alive, you participate in helping people, going in their body, making changes, doing what shamans do, and all the spiritual administrative stuff that I tell you about. Then when you die, your soul advanced already. And so your choices is more of a bigger option for you coming back here. You could come back here anytime, but you could go into different bodies. The other way, you dead. You don't even know about what I'm talking about. You understand? But as you now participate, you got two other levels to it. And level one, the highest one, is like you attain to a level that you become conscious and you participate in the spiritual world that has influence on the physical world. You help people in the physical world and you come back. You're always here. You're always there. You're everywhere. This is participation in and I forgot the name of the word because there is a proper word for it, and I wanted to give it to you, but right now it can't come to my memory. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. But this is what your consciousness have to go through, your soul has to go through, and they don't put this to you, but it's in books. I'm giving you straight textbooks, and I'll read it to you later because I found it. But these things I already know. I speak to you in many videos about it. So the whole point is we're not all the way sure of what we're trying to do and what our experiences and what we're seeing in the biblical sense is actually something that is occurring inside of you, where you have like I tell you, a right side of you and a left side of you, and these two sides want domination over you in material way or in a spiritual way. Those is the two wars taking place within yourself. And so you're going to have to do a balance between the duality and make a choice. Once you make that choice, then that's the path you're going to be on. When your consciousness leaves the body, that's the world you're going to. Either you're going to the dark side or you're going to the light side. But the proper way to do it is to just be conscious of both and play the middle. You don't have to participate in neither one. Be yourself. Do what you want to do. There's nobody could govern you. You only have the mind of God. You have the mind of evil too in you. It's which one do you want to partake in? If you know one and you know the other, then you're on the process of leaving both. But if you only know one, you're on the journey to know the other. It's straight like that. Alright, let's talk about this level world, man. It's been a beautiful journey. I ain't gonna lie, ever since this Kundalini and the Ring, Lord of the Ring came in, the first thing I started seeing was the mother now. That's when I told you, it's a woman now, very influential. She was always in the background quiet till I was aware of the ring and put the ring on my chain. Then there's this woman that is just giving me nurture and love and everything. So there is both, a man and a female. And they both participate in my own spiritual growth. And so for me now, it's different because I see the astral world like how we regularly do, and I tell you I see different beings and I go to different places. And you know, I could go and experience any experience. Like say if I'm concerned about you and you driving on the road and you crash and you know, call, I could now think about you and go into meditation, and it will take me back to that moment right before you crash, and I could sit there and watch you as you crash. Look at your face and see what happened. Look at the car and go around it and see everything. That's real. It's crazy now. Here go the problem. You see, it works against me. I see things I don't want to see. I do believe it's not right. Yeah. You could see it and glorify it if you want. Probably most people will. But for me, going through the experience, you get to see things, man. The truth. Sometimes you don't need to see that. I think that's an invasion of privacy at this point now. So I do believe if I have powers on what to say and what to do, that's how it is. I don't use a gift in such a way, but if I'm concerned about you, yes, I'll definitely come and check. But it was times where I'm just being compelled into situations, mad different situations, people making love right in front of me, all types of crazy stuff that I didn't want to see. But I understand it now. And so I keep certain things out of my macabre, out of my thoughts, out of my mind, so that it don't have no influence on me, can't call upon me or use me in any way. So those things is very important that you got to realize. Once that came in the picture in the mother now, and I see the astral world and not just the way I just explained it to you, where I'm able to see you if I'm concerned with you and go and actually view the event. But it's like now, It's about Kundalini. So then that take place, I overlay the astral world. There's another world. And I overlay it because it's more important for me to heal myself than to be observing other people's life and worried about other people as far as something that is not called upon me to, hey, come help me. Like, you could go in the astral world and be nosy. That's what I'm pretty much me. I don't go in the astral world to be nosy. I'm commissioned to do things, and I go there to do things. Anything with nosiness, I don't partake in it at all, and I would condemn it, to be honest. Like, no, don't do that. Because I feel violated when I see that, and I don't want it done to me. That's that. So now on that note, what I'm trying to say now is that the astral world is really you're inside your body. We spoke about it, how you're going up the spinal column, your vertebrae. Yes. Alright. Hey, Summer. Which is all one system. This vertebrae is like the vertebrae to God. It's like you're going up a universal Kundalini system where everything and everybody is at. It's the World Wide Web of your universal body, the inside. When I tell you about imploding inwards and going in, that intuition, the ends and all that. So once you're inside there now, everything is different. It's a whole nother different type of world because you're in a virtual reality, not just of this world, but of all worlds, all dimensions, all space-time, with beings that's there to guide you and help you. They're at different cusps of different levels so that nobody could just cross over into higher worlds without being purified, without deserving to be there. So every color band, that's why you have yellow people, red people, orange people, purple people. Purple being the highest, the royalty, the crown. And that's why you see them with the crown. That's who bought it. It's not something I'm just saying in a metaphoric way or symbolic way. Do the history of it. It's the crown that brings it, the scarlet, the Aaron family, the priesthood. That's where they established themselves on this world, earth today and call themselves. And you got to understand where it came from. But a lot of them is not the true ones. The true ones is out here in the world being the servant to the fake ones now. And so the fake ones is perpetrating as these people. All right. So once you realize that you're not in the astral world, you're in your body, which is the universal body of God, the Christ, whatever you want to call it. It's this what we call the stellar man, the cosmic man. So you're on that journey. So once you're in there, you will see everything that's wrong with your own body. They'll come as living beings, entities, spirits, scary looking things, your thoughts, your emotions, diseases. That's how they tell you they could cure diseases in your magnetic field, or shamans see it in your field, or a psychic see it in your field. That's how all of this is brought about, through that. So once you realize that, right, that you're in your body, the journey becomes much more easier for you to understand. And the first places they're going to take you is to your own problems. It'll be a long time before you get to run around and do what you want. You have to face all your own problems first. Once you're able to face all your own problems, then you could go have fun and do whatever you want. I'm not saying that it don't, but to be honest, I believe nobody actually know they're in their body and they're there to do a job, and it's actually just having fun. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm putting you on what to do. You face whatever you have to face because you're healing yourself. And after you heal yourself, you become the cosmic man. You have an astral and an ethereal body that you have to actually nurture, and it will make you conscious of your past lives and actually bring you back to unity with the one and the all, being what's called the bosom. And so this is part of Kundalini. Like I said, in the Western world, I got to explain it to you, but I could tell you in a whole nother lingo of you talking about in Kundalini, which will be a better representation because it take out the moralness of it and make you relax more and live your life and experience. We're here to experience, like how they have it in Avengers. We're not here to judge, for people to judge us. Only material people judge people. You understand what I'm saying? If you're here to learn, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And if everybody start chastising you for your mistakes, what you're going to feel is like you don't want to do nothing. You just want to sit still. You're checking everything you do, watching how you do it. How could you be free in a world that's free? Well, anyways, this is Kundalini, right? What happens now with the astral world is you overlay it the real way. It's like you put in a different form. This is where the circles come in upon circles. Look at it like this. When you look at water, observe water. The waves going back and forth. You know, let's walk down there. How many minutes I got? I got time. You know, I'm going to show you so you see exactly what I'm talking about. Because Kundalini is everything. When you observe water and the ripples in the water, right, you're going to see circles. Circles upon circles upon circles. And those circles form genetic patterns with the waves. That's what you're in. It's invisible to your eye like predator, but you're in that substance. It's just more calcified in water, calcified in different things. But I want you to get the concept correct because it works with thought, your mind. Our ancient alchemists and all those symbols they drew them out of their head because that's what they saw. They're actually there to help them navigate on the journey. If you're astral traveling, it gives you a different portal. Those is all portals to different places in your body. And you have 48 constellations in your body. So you cannot complete it in one lifetime if you try. But it's not the physical body, it's the body in the body. Alright. So, for you to understand how Kundalini has changed my life and changed how I see everything, we have to look at this water. Let me see if I can show you waves, ripples, right? Show you. Just observe the water for a minute. You know, you see not just the waves and the ripples, you see honeycomb. The way it flows is like genetics. All of this is all what the ancients saw. So when you're looking on the surface, you see one thing. That's the astral world. But if you go a little bit underneath, you're going to see something else. It turns to a peaceful world down there that's quiet. Fishes in the water, everything. So that will be the same like when you overlay it with the circle. You're on the top layer now. When you was in the astral world, you're down there in a peaceful circle. So say now you come up with the circle and you're on the top, seeing the top view of the ocean. You got all these circles. The ocean itself would be considered God, the whole big ocean of God. But all those ripples and circles and waves is little particles of yourself that you have to pick up. So you have to go in those and pick up circles, circles upon circles upon circles. But in a wave, you're going through each circle like Sonic through the ring. What I'm teaching you is how to collect back your solar logos. You see, when you look at the Sanskrit version, you always see that they have the Devi, the D-E-V-I. They're always inside of a circle. Yes, brother. In a cell. Most of them have a trident in their hand. That's the gatekeeper of a chakra. When you look at the ripples, that's what you're seeing. Those same circles with the gatekeepers in them of the circle. They're in the air that you can't see right now. They're here. They're right in front of you, gatekeeping this reality to be your reality until your higher self come in and don't see with just the physical five senses, to see with the third eye, and that self go over to past the gatekeeper to the other worlds. So the same when we're talking about the ring that overlays the astral world, it can be equivalent to the same as you seeing this world how it is, and then your third eye open, and all of a sudden you're able to see in darkness, and you're able to see a whole nother dimension and see a whole bunch of other things. So it's equivalent to that when we're talking about the circle. Yes? What's going on, Roddy? I'm good. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Just chopping it up with a friend there. Yeah, so I hope I remember where I was at. I was a little long last talk, man. Damn. But to be honest now, what we talking about, the Devi being in the circle. The Devi is where you get the term devil from. It's in a lot of these movies where you're seeing people transforming into all types of evil things. They try to personify it in so many ways. A transformation into the werewolf, into these creatures, to Franken. All this is telling you the same story. As a matter of fact, Frankenstein is basically the first story told about a human being. How you're made up of different beings. That's why Frankenstein is chopped up into so many pieces. Let me give y'all some of this last minute sun right here. Hold on. Let's get some of this. You got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I tell you about your double-sided self, your ego and you. And so all these has been personified already. Number one, like I said, important is Frankenstein. To show you that you was made by mad different entities that participated in your body. What's up? Alright. And so your finger is a different entity. Your toe is a different entity. Each organ is a different entity. All of them is alive, believe it or not. That's why the body goes on a different journey than the physical, than the soul. And the thing is, the body has to go through destruction, decay, because those entities fall in love with this world whenever they come. They keep coming back. They're the one who build bodies. But that's why the same system goes for all bodies. That it has to decay because what's in it has to go in a different direction from what helped you stay here and sustained you in that atmosphere and environment, that body you was in. You know, so you got to big them all up for helping you and participating. And I do, man. I understand how this world works and how everything is and who's who. Because once you go in your body and you realize that's who the astral is, that's who most of them beings is too. Your liver, your kidneys, all these is beings inside you. That's where you see the Egyptian personified the body and took out certain organs and saved them because they was living beings. You gotta understand, us is just a big composite of many little beings. The powerfulest most people and the most perfect people in the world was not the giants. They was the sloppy idiots that they messed up North America and, you know, made the flood had to come. And that's a fact because that's what Kundalini and yoga was made up for the giants. Because they was that sloppy. They had to learn how to walk. When did nature perfect itself? When they made the smallest people in the world, the pygmies. The pygmies is the precursor to all human beings. They're the Etruscans. They're, you know, the pre-Nubians, the pre-Ethiopians, everybody, man. They're the pre-Indians. They're the one who started everything. When we talking them, we talking Java man, Bushmen, those type of species and whatnot. The precursor to the Homo sapien, man. Even though they was the first Homo sapien, they, you know, the pygmies like 3 million years old and all that, maybe 5. You gotta go to Google it. It'll tell you though. Those like the oldest people, man. So perfection is in smaller. Smaller the better. Who else know it better than your government when they took the smallest thing of atom and made an atomic bomb? They knew that. But we don't understand that. I hope you understand now. It's the subtle energy. That's what does it. You know, look at these two. Let me see. See the heart right there? I can't zoom, but it's at the light. There's two of them kissing. It's beautiful. But anyways, Back to what I was saying now. This subtle energy, right, is what's inside all of us, this ethereal energy, this creative energy, the ones that feed your organ energy, that the organs now produce another energy called chi energy. You know, from the chi we get another energy what comes to our third eye. It's different energies as it goes up your ventricles and up your chakras, or up your invisible cannabinoid system, we're gonna call it. And so these devis, these divas, these gods, they control your consciousness. You're a devil, and not in the sense of the Christian definition, in the sense of the Sanskrit devi. That's who came out. That's consciousness. When you talking consciousness, you talking the story of the serpent, the snake. You talking the story of Enki. Anything that become conscious has to be conscious of good and bad. His journey is the most dangerous and most craziest journey. That's why they say you become a god, because you know good and bad. Because why? You're conscious. So, think about it. Being conscious means that you're taking your own self into account for what you're doing. It's something you're not supposed to do, according to the book, right? That's all they did was become conscious. The snake, like I said, is Kundalini, the serpent. It's the same philosophy in Kundalini. Once that snake comes and attached now to your pineal, you get pulled into a world of darkness where you're battling creatures and animals and a whole bunch of stuff. The whole Bible comes alive in Kundalini. That's actually the medical term for it. I'm going to put it up so you can see it. All the after, you know what? Just Google side effects of Kundalini, of early Kundalini activation, and you'll see for yourself. But it's not a joke. So when we talk in a biblical account, that's where it comes from, and the two go together. So for me, it's beautiful when I understand this whole system, because I deal with the devis. Your whole life is to become a devi. They lying to you. You know why? Because you're a logo. Where is the devi at? The devi is in the circle, the logo. How come you don't see anybody else in the circle? It's only the devis that's in the circle. So that's you in your pure sense. That's your consciousness. That's why you see a halo above people, meaning they're conscious. It's not the sun. It don't mean nothing. It's a cell. It means the devi is active in them. Their crown is open, and they're conscious. They came through that circle into this body, through the crown, and awoken the motherfucker in it. So as you go through, you're going through different devis. You know, you could have started out, let's see, your first devi would have had you thinking you're Superman. You're a superhero, you're Spider-Man. Look at your kids, they're at the first devi. Bad motherfuckers that be wanting to fight. They love watching all that shit. None of them want to do some soul-to-soul shit or want to stay on some Fisher-Price game stuff. They just want to watch Marvel shit and cartoons and laugh and watch people beat each other and laugh at them. First level devi. Second level devi, start learning how to draw art. The artist devi comes. Third level devi, the liar. The liar comes out now. Fourth level devi, the look at me devi come out now. Then the I'm the star devi come out. All these are still in the child. After those come splits, the hurting child. Because all those devis things ain't going right for them no more. They're not getting their way. Other devis start coming over, the positive and the negative, the duality. The first chastisation, the first time you chastise them, you cause duality within their own devis. A split. This is real, man. Your job, and if you want to get back to your full self, is to deal with those devis, because those is consciousness splits in yourself at different gates. different tubes within your cannabinoid system, within your conscious state. When we manifest those blocks, they become energy blockages. What's energy blockages? Anything you see yourself doing. You wouldn't be doing anything if it was if there was no energy blockage there. All right. Look at it like this. For a tree to appear, there had to be a blockage in energy there. You get it? The tree wouldn't be there if the energy wasn't blocked there. It's the same thing within yourself. Examine yourself and you will see where your blockages is at by what your habitual things you do, what you do that's out of the norm. But only way you could able to touch on what I'm saying is if you're truly honest with yourself. Actually analyzing yourself. Not just trying to feed your ego and get there. Do you see yourself at the end of the night? What did I do? Who did I offend today as you lay in your bed? Going back on your day. Do you feel good as you lay there? Or do you question something? Why? If you question it, it doesn't matter what you question. It's on your mind for a reason. It came and floated up to the surface of the waters of your thoughts for a reason. Did you address it? Alright. You know, somehow I never got to explain the beautiful Kundalini overlay. But I started when I was showing you the ripples in the water. When I was sun staring, that's all I see in the sun now. It's ripples all over. It's ripples. And the sun itself turned into first one circle, then another circle, and it's just a bunch of circles coming at me like a cone of circles. And I make it myself with the first circle, and I do the second one, and I keep doing them until they make a long cone. And then all the gods come floating into their dimension in the cone, from the biggest to the smallest, going all in it. It's like a whole nother thing to me now. When I'm staring at the sun and seeing colors and shapes and beings, I use it as a tool, and I know what I'm doing. So trust me when I'm telling you about like everything. That's why I'm so not telling so many astral stories. I'll be telling an older one, but I don't really try to get into the astral story. I don't experience it that much. I go right to Kundalini. I'm putting my solar logos back, keeping myself close to the gods, because that's where you belong. That's what your soul journey is. And as long as you understand it's not religious, you won't be chasing your tail or chasing your beliefs or what your ego is. And you will go and do your job, which is to return back to the bosom, return yourself back to where you came from. There's where you have all your other spirits waiting for you, and they'll be guiding you from there. Now, you think you're a physical person until you die, and that's fine. That's cool, but it doesn't work like that. You were sent here to deal back and forth and communicate back and forth. You can't just come here and think you should chill, but yeah, I'm going to do with my spiritual people. You don't have no communication with them. You don't connect with them. That's like you send your kids to the other side to go build a house and a home, and then they totally never call you again or get in touch with you. That's what you're doing. You have to make that effort to connect. I hope you get this. I'm done for the evening. University of Conscious Science. One love, Royal Family.